It's not my favorite thing. I like everything to stack. What I think they concluded is these are not safe for sleep. Absolute skip. Now I will say you can find beautiful ones that are like $200 or more affordable ones like this, but I think this has been like sold to parents that it's like a critical issue. Today, I'm gonna tell you what to take off your baby registry. So we're gonna go through an Amazon baby registry and I'm basically gonna critique it for you. So come along with me. The first item we have is like a play mat, a gym. These items are okay, but for me, it's a little bit of a toss-up because you could just put like a baby quilt on the floor and throw some toys around them. That's a lot easier to like put away. If you wanna clean up, this item, you know, it's a little awkward to put in a closet and to store away. Between children, when you have first child versus second, items sometimes get stored. Or when you're just done with it, it's something you have to pass along versus a baby quilt on the floor. It just, you know, it's probably a keepsake. If I were doing it all over again, would I get it? No, is my honest answer. Next, we have a swing. So I had the opportunity to have a swing. My mom ran a daycare. She had a swing. She's like, hey, you wanna borrow my swing? And I said, no, thank you. I'm good. I don't want my baby to like the rocking. I don't really want them to sit in it. I used a bouncer seat and that was it when they were infants. It was bouncer seat or I was carrying them in a, you know, in the wrap or I was just holding them. You spend a lot of time nursing them. They spend a lot of time sleeping, diaper changes. I didn't want to have too many seats, so for me, the swing was actually a skip. Next, we have a bouncer seat. So this bouncer seat is beautiful. Now, I will say you can find beautiful ones that are like $200 or more affordable ones like this. Still expensive. If you want to go one that's maybe a little more, you know, animals and rainbowy colors, you can find one for as cheap as like $30, $35. So why I like bouncer seats is partially they're very affordable. They're easy to move around the house, a lot easier than a swing, and they're a little bit smaller. So for me, the bouncer seat is the seat that I would go with again. Next, we have a lounger. So DockATot was big right around the times I was having babies, but the thing was people were using them for their babies to sleep in, and it was just a whole debate if they're safe, if they're not safe for sleep. What I think they concluded is these are not safe for sleep. Read your manuals, read your warning labels. I'm not responsible for anything here. But in general, I think they've been labeled not overly safe for sleep. So what is your baby doing in this? Just lounging? They could just lounge on a quilt on the floor. They don't need this specific lounger. Okay, for me, this is an absolute skip. I think it also could be a very slippery slope if your baby does sleep in it and you're like, well, I'm watching them, it's daytime. And then they start sleeping in it at night when you're asleep. So sometimes as a parent, you almost want to prevent yourself from going down a slippery slope. And for me, it would be, I don't even want this item in my home if it's not safe for sleep. Next, we have some sleepers. So we're starting off with a 3-pack, followed by a 2-pack and another 3-pack. So pros and cons here. I'm just going to kind of talk about all three of these as a group. I like gender neutral. Then you can use it for all your children. You might have more children that are the opposite gender. You want to get zippers, not snaps. You want to get ones with the footy attached. I see a lot that are like a cropped ankle where the foot's out. I want their foot to be warm, personally. And then the other thing is if you buy the newborn size or even 0 to 3 months, if possible, get one that has a cuff on the sleeve so you can cover their nails if they happen to be scratchers. I always say skip on mittens and just get sleepers that have it built in. Not all babies scratch their face. It's not that serious, okay? So sleepers are a yes, but I would go a little more gender neutral. And that takes us into mittens. So for me, mittens are a skip. Now, this is only a 3-pack. They're very neutral colors. I do like that they would match anything and everything, okay? But I think this has been like sold to parents that it's like a critical issue. It's not that serious. You can work on filing their nails, cutting their nails. Again, have the sleepers with the cuff. At the end of the day, you can also put socks on their hands. Like say you got socks that are a little bit big for them or I don't know. You don't have to have mittens, okay? Chill out on the mittens. Next, we've got a set of 7 washcloths. Now, I do have to say these are beautiful, pretty gender neutral. One thing when it comes to like towels and washcloths, I like getting matching sets so that they all fold and they stack nicely in the linen closet. It's very easy with kids to get like, oh, we got a ducky towel from this brand and then we got this one from this brand and kind of irks me, to be completely honest. So get a set, get them to match. Then we have this like elephant shower head. We didn't have one of these. When it comes to the bath time, I like simple, but also like spraying this on your baby. It's good if they like the tub. It's good if they like water. That makes life more enjoyable. A baby that cries in the tub constantly is kind of stressful, to be completely honest. It makes bath time miserable. So I would love to have them have a positive interaction with water, and this could help with that. It could be a fun item. Definitely not the end all be all. If I had another baby today and I had no supplies, would I get this? Honestly, no. I would just pour water on them with a cup. Call it a day. Next, we have an elephant hooded towel. It looks like a set of 2 towels and potentially 6 washcloths. Now, these washcloths are not going to match those other washcloths. So for me, it's a no. Also, when it comes to towels, if you can get toddler towels instead of baby towels, that's great. Even like small child towels, because baby towels get outgrown very quickly. And now we have 2 more towels. So again, now the towels aren't matching. We had 2 of the other set, 2 of this set. It's not my favorite thing. I like everything to stack nicely and last for a long time. That's why I say get the bigger towels, because then they last longer. Just my opinion. Then we got the Frida bath. It's a 4-in-1, helps kind of grow with baby. So I did the Angel Care bath support, wouldn't do it again. I would actually get a smaller tub like this if I did it again. Obviously, if I didn't have a baby shower, I might just wash them in the sink, just being honest, or put them in the shower with me. But as a first-time mom, I would do the tub and not the like support where the water falls through. I like this style. So for me, this one is a keep. Next is one of my top items. So it's a bath kneeler. I didn't get this brand exactly. We didn't get the elbow rest. We just got the kneeler one for on the floor. But you bathe your baby often and frequently and for a long time. It's not that expensive. This is the trifecta of good value. I talk about that more on my channel and some other videos. We want baby items that are good value. Use it often, use it regularly, use it for a long time. Like, you help bathe your baby till they're like 5, even sometimes further than that. And this saves your knees. Okay, so for me, it's a winner. If this is on your baby registry, I would personally recommend you take it off. I know it's not that expensive. It's right under $10, but you can just use a plastic cup you already own. All right, let's be a little more environmental friendly. You do not need this specific pouring cup. The bum brush. I like the bum brush, but I recommend only getting 1 because I don't recommend putting this in your diaper bag unless your baby just has terrible diaper rash and you're always on the go. For the most part, I would use this at home. You know, do the diaper butt paste cream, put it on spatula, wipe it on their booty at home. If I'm out in public or in somebody's house or, you know, changing them on a public bathroom changing table, I'm trying to get in and out of there ASAP. I'm not smothering their bum with cream. I'm doing the quickest diaper change possible. So that's why I don't think you need this in the diaper bag. As a first-time mom, you're gonna think yes, but again, hearing it from that point of view, as a more experienced mom, it's like, oh, okay, maybe that makes sense. Unless you're just really struggling with diaper rash constantly, which I hope you're not. Then we have the diaper caddy. So this is one of my must-have items. You don't actually have to have it. You can just use an Amazon box, but it's organization. Okay, I love organization. It's diapers. Use them daily, multiple times a day. So it's very frequent. Duration, anywhere from 0 to 2, 2.5, 3 years old. Long time. Cost, these are not that expensive. For me, again, on the value, this hits it. Next, we have some burp cloths. So these are cute, very gender neutral, no problem. I went with flannel receiving blankets and used those as burp cloths. I liked them. I don't know, it hit for me. They were big, you could open it up and you could fold it. I usually folded them in like a rectangle, but they just were big and they were absorbent. So for me, I like the flannel receiving blanket as a burp cloth. However, these do look very nice. Now, in my opinion, if you have this on a baby registry, I would take it off. High chair. We did a booster seat that's strapped into one of our kitchen chairs. Liked that so much. It had a tray that could come on or off so they could eat at the table or they could still sit back and use that tray if you wanted to protect your table. It's easier for like traveling to say grandma's house or somebody and you can just throw the booster seat in the car if you need to. And it's easier to store between children. It takes up way less room in the kitchen. For me, the booster seat is 100% the route I would go. Next, a 3-pack of bibs. Again, I would go a bit more gender neutral. I love these silicone bibs for when you introduce food. Okay, these aren't for when they're, you know, breastfeeding or bottle feeding. These are food bibs and you can rinse them out in the sink. I actually put the bottle cleaning brush, I got a suction cup one, suction cup it to my sink and I'll drape the bib over that to dry in my sink. Just another mom hack to share. All right, another package of burp cloths. I believe this is the same brand as before. Kind of like I said on washcloths on towels, I like them to fold and stack neatly, tidily, and all be the same. That's just my preference. Which leads me into these 2 different types of bottles. They are not the same. They're gonna have different parts, different pieces, like different ring, different nipple. It can cause confusion, especially if you're a first-time parent or your husband is a first-time parent, not real familiar with bottles and gear. I recommend one bottle type, stick with it. If it is a problem, look to getting new ones, but don't register for 2 different types. Like you're confusing yourself and baby. The nasal aspirator, I did not use this very often on my baby and we got one from the hospital. Now you don't want to keep it forever because they can grow mold inside of them, but I didn't think it was an essential item. Definitely would not buy it. Then we got some pacifiers, Nook. It's up to you what you go with on pacifiers. We did pacifiers, try to stick with one general type and that will help you and baby make it work. Then we have the Hello Baby Monitor. When it comes to baby monitors, I recommend 2 cameras. That way that if you have a second child, you can put 1 in each of their rooms. For now, put both cameras in the same room, that's fine. I recommend a screen that can split so you can see both cameras at the same time. Again, for when you have 2 children, potentially. And then I recommend going 5 inches or bigger because any smaller than that and the screen is very tiny, okay? Up to you if you want Wi-Fi or not Wi-Fi and all those other features. Then we have a thermometer. Always wise to put a thermometer on your baby registry. They always seem to die or not feel real trustworthy, so to me, that's a good buy. Then we got some Vaseline. You can use it anywhere and everywhere. Followed by the Frida Baby, like electric nose sucker thing. I think Frida Baby has a lot of products out there, and I think you need them if your baby is sick. I don't think you need to just have them all, okay? Frida does a lot of different things, and I don't know, I feel like they market strong and they put fear in you. Your baby is not necessarily gonna be sick all the time. Mine were not that sick. They were not that snotty. It was not that serious for us. Okay, up to you if you want to buy these items in advance or wait till they get sick and then order them off Amazon. It's not a big deal. We have the portable sound machine. So we actually used an old cell phone, put a free app on it, cost us absolutely nothing. That could have been $28 saved right there, or put into diapers or clothing. So for me, we may do without, but if you want it, go right ahead. Then we got a swaddle. Up to you on swaddles. You can do arms up, you can do arms down, you can not swaddle. When it comes to swaddles, my recommendation is try not to go too expensive because they can get very costly. You know, you need multiple sizes typically. Try to go gender neutral because again, you want to use them for future children. And if you have hand-me-downs, take them, make sure the sizing is correct. And sleep is tough. You got to do what you got to do with newborn sleep. Then we have a white noise, like nightlight. So we use the Hatch. This is basically another version of that or a knockoff. It's a lot cheaper than the Hatch, but I really have to say I love the Hatch. It's listed down in the description under my favorite products. You can do schedules. You can do like different timers, different colors and different sounds, and we love it. Basically for us, when they're itty bitty, it's more just a nightlight. As they get older, we trained them for basically to be a baby to toddler to little kid alarm clock. In our house, red means sleep and green means wake up, and our kids know exactly what to do. All right, we have like a general blanket. On blankets, obviously like gender neutral is nice, but if you want to go gender specific, it can be their special blanket. The next kid can get their own blanket. Then we got some swaddles. I would go gender neutral, make it a better investment. Next, we have a swaddle. So I didn't actually swaddle my babies with these blanket swaddles. I used them just as random blankets. So it could be a floor blanket in a pinch. They're not thick though. It could be a burp cloth in a pinch. It could be a nursing cover in a pinch. The swaddle blankets for me didn't have a real purpose. They were kind of like a jack of all trades, master of none. Next, we have a 2-pack of crib sheets. So I again would go gender neutral. I know it might not go with your nursery theme, but you're gonna get more life out of that item. Then we have another blanket. So blankets, it's up to you. Remember, babies do not sleep with blankets until they're older, but you can use them for floor blankets, for tummy time, for tucking them in the car seat carefully if it is winter. You know, blankets come in handy. Who doesn't like a good blanket? Then we have 2 nursing pillows. So first is more the boppy style. I honestly breastfed both my babies past a year each, and I didn't use a nursing pillow. Call me crazy. So I would not do the boppy if I was gonna do one. I would do the more structured, hard, like my breast friend one, or this one here, it's the Frida. They're more firm. I would have done that one if I was going to do it. But I pulled a pillow off our guest bed and I used that for like the first 2 months. And then I put it back on the guest bed and I never had to store a breastfeeding pillow. It was amazing. Your baby's gonna get stronger. They're gonna learn to do it without a pillow. And you can't always rely 100% on the pillow because what if you're out in public? What if you're at somebody else's house? The pillow is a help. It is a support. Make sure you're sitting with good posture, things like that. But I made do with just a bed pillow off our guest bed. Next, we've got a Medela like breastfeeding pumping kit. So it definitely depends on your journey, okay? Are you going back to work or are you gonna be a stay-at-home mom? So if you're going back to work, you know you're gonna pump, you definitely need to have all the pump things. If you're gonna be a stay-at-home mom, I guess why are you pumping? What are your goals? Do you wanna quit breastfeeding at 6 or 7 months, but still have enough milk to get them to the full year? I just fed my babies. I didn't do a lot of pumping and freezer storage. Mine got to the point where they wouldn't even take a bottle. So it's completely up to you and what you want your journey to look like. Next, we have 3 different styles of car seat covers. The first one is more of that winter cover. I would do more of a winter cover. The next 2 are like the stretchy summer vibes. I didn't use these ones. I just found them to be in the way and kind of like one more thing. Now, some people really want their babies covered, don't want people touching them at the grocery store. I can respect that. I just put them in the cart, and if somebody came near me, I just backed away. Like I just handled it, I guess you could say. So for me, this was like one more thing to like put on them. And it was like one more accessory to carry and have. So for me, it was a skip. Next, we've got a teether from the brand, like the Haka brand. Any teethers work. This isn't anything special for me. Try to get affordable. Try to get maybe a 4-pack of teethers for $10 or a 5-pack. Get as much as you can because these toys are short-lived. You don't need them for that long. Okay, I'm gonna start in the middle here. We've got some pacifier clips. I would probably get ones that are a little more simple. These, I mean, they're cute. There's nothing wrong with them. They just seem like, I don't know, maybe they're trying too hard, but you only need a couple. I actually recommend 2. One clipped on a pacifier that's in the diaper bag and one that's clipped on a pacifier that's maybe in the car seat with baby. And that's it. You don't need clips all over the house. And then on the sides of that, we've got 2 different sets of like waterproof changing pads. These are probably to go on a changing station. Let's stay tuned for that. Do you need 6? I would say no. I would say you need 2 or 3. One of the tricks with baby stuff is when it gets dirty, don't put it in the hamper. Go ahead and just put it straight into the washer so it'll come through the load quicker. You know, say you don't have a lot of swaddles, put it straight in the washer. It'll get washed with the next load. That's just my opinion, how I would do it. Typically, I'm a hamper mama and like one person's stuff all gets washed together, but with baby stuff, sometimes it's just gotta flow through the loads. All right, a winter hat here for like 25 bucks. It's cute. Do you need to spend 25 bucks on it? Probably not, but it is cute. Nothing wrong with a little winter hat. Then we have a carrier. So there's, you know, there's like the wrap or the buckle ones. I feel like this one has like a soft vibe to it. It's a buckle one, but maybe a little bit of a wrap style, like just a little cozy looking. When it comes to carriers, you definitely want one that has a good waist strap and thick shoulder straps. It can be very hard on your back very quickly. You want to wear it tight, wear it snug, and hopefully wear it like well fitting. Oh, this next item, if you have it on your baby registry, I recommend you take it off. It's these like mushy baby feeders. I think they're gross. Your baby can figure it out, okay? Just practice safe eating with them. Watch them, whether you give them mushy food with a spoon, whether you do baby-led weaning. I think items like this are so gross and it's like, oh, just having to clean this just sounds miserable to me. And I almost feel like you're confusing your baby on like what food even is. You're like sticking it in this silicone and they have to like get it through the holes, and that's not necessarily what the texture of food is. So I don't love it. I would take it off your registry. The electric nail file. We did not have one of these, but I could see where it's a very helpful product. Did I cut my baby's fingers once or twice? I did, with clippers, yeah. And it hurt my mommy heart for a very long time. So if I had to do it again, I would possibly get this item. I think it might be worth it, especially if you're on your first baby and you're gonna have a few. You will get your use out of this because nails grow back and they grow back fast, okay? It's a frequently used item. You're gonna get those reps in. All right, so I would say get it even though I did not. Next, we have a changing pad. This looks like one that would sit on a dresser. I actually say this is a skip. Call me crazy. I'm not a big fan of changing stations and of like diaper pails. So my reasoning for this on the changing pad is I had a guest bed in both my kids' rooms when they were infants. There was the crib and the guest bed. And I would sleep in the guest bed when I needed to be in there with them. And anywho, I would make it and then I would change them on the bed. I would put a quilt like on top of the comforter to protect the comforter. And I would set the diaper caddy there and I changed them on the bed. I didn't have to bend over. I also had more room to work with. If they did roll, they weren't rolling off the bed. You know, the bed is a bigger space. So for me, that's what worked. I would also, if I didn't do that, I would have probably just changed them on the floor, to be completely honest. Then we have a bottle sterilizer. I breastfed, so I can't give it too much hate, but overall, I say to skip on the bottle like sterilizers. I think you have a dishwasher with a lot of different settings on it. You can wash by hand. So for me, it would be a skip. I wouldn't, I'm too frugal, I guess. This 8-pack of drawer organizers. I love it. Now, like bins and baskets could be maybe a little nicer. It depends on your drawer, I guess, but I have drawer dividers like this in my current dresser. So this isn't an item that's like, it's baby and then it's like done for. You can use these forever. You could use them in your kitchen. You could use them in their dresser for the rest of their life, you know, and maybe you need little division now, but in the future, you know, you can spread those out between more drawers. Okay. For me, this is a win. I love organization. Next, we got a bottle drying rack. I hate these. Dry it on a towel. The towel can go away. This drying rack is going to sit out for at least a full year, and then it'll turn into sippy cups. And it's going to be out forever. You're never going to put it away. And I can't. I would never get one of these. Then we have a bath thermometer. I would never get one of these. Put your hand in, feel the temp, decide if it's appropriate. You do not need this item. All right, what do you think? Which items on this baby registry were definite skips for you, and which ones would you want to get? If you're interested, all of these are going to be linked in the description. Now, if you're still feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the thought of creating your baby registry, maybe your baby shower is coming up a little too soon, I'm here to help. I offer baby registry reviews similar to this, only what helps is I know what your goals are. Okay, you take a questionnaire talking about if you're gonna breastfeed, if you're gonna have a nanny, daycare, stay-at-home mom, what you're gonna do, and then I can help you pick the right items for your baby registry. All right, I'll look at yours, I'll review it, tell you what to add, and tell you what to skip. All right, if you're interested in that service, the link for that will also be down in the description.